Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Thank you for being an awesome pledgehammer on Patreon, WrestleTalk's personal ring announcer, Rodrigo Benitez. Next weekend sees the spiritual sequel to All In, which I guess is also the sequel to Double or Nothing. AEW's All Out emanates from the Sears Center in Chicago on August 31st, and with it comes an AEW title match, key headline matches, and more excitement as the company builds towards its TV debut on October 2nd. AEW's shows so far have been incredibly difficult to predict, with matches ending with angles unforeseen, time limit draws, and genuinely unpredictable matches, and this card is no exception. Who will be the first ever AEW champion? Who will secure the first spot in a match for the AEW Women's Championship? Who will win between two of AEW's top stars in Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley? It's hard to tell. And you know what comes with uncertainty? Rumors. AEW have shown a flair for the unexpected already as well, so we can expect some surprises too. With all that said, let's break it all down. Your boy Chopper is here to save the day. Before we get into it though, make sure to press the thumbs up, subscribe, and bell icon to enable notifications, and leave us a comment answering the question of the day, which today is, which match are you most looking forward to at All Out? So let's look at the rumors, returns, and surprises that you need to know for AEW's All Out. But first, let's not do anything too rash. Let's not make any bold claims. CM Punk will return. CM Punk to AEW actually confirmed. Well, what did you think we were going to start with? It's pretty obvious that CM Punk keeps being on the verge of returning and then he gets scared because WrestleTalk puts too much pressure on him. But this time, we're almost 50% sure he's going to return. Probably. Relations between Punk and AEW haven't been as friendly as they once were, with Punk publicly shaming the promotion in an interview with ESPN for sending him an offer over text. It's all about Instagram DMs now anyway. However, just because he likes to troll us wrestling fans into thinking he's coming back, not that we'd fall for that sort of thing, doesn't mean he's actually going to do it. Or is he? Last weekend, Cody tweeted, "Cut people out of your life and work. Life is too short." To which Punk replied with that Cody zooming ear gif, you know the one. So could that be him saying, "That's what I did, and now I'm totally ready to debut for AEW"? Or could he be saying, "I love this tweet so much that I'm returning to AEW"? Or could he just be hoping that we get all excited like this and then make a rumors video about him returning? Yeah, it's probably that one. Shawn Spears will beat Cody. Fans were shocked, horrified, and weirdly aroused by the end of AEW Fight for the Fallen in July, when former Tye Dillinger Shawn Spears entered the ring armed with a steel chair and clonked Cody on the head with it. Despite the chair being gimmicked, something went slightly wrong as all the blood in Cody's head decided to leak out onto the canvas. AEW received some criticism for this, but Cody himself has come out to say that it was a mistake and nothing more than that. Following on from this, it was announced that Spears had got himself a new manager in the shape of wrestling legend Tully Blanchard, and that he and Cody would be going head-to-head at All Out. The latest betting odds have Spears as the clear favorite for this match, which may come as a shock to some given how many will have assumed Cody will be one of the biggest stars in the promotion. A win for Spears would cement him as one of the biggest stars in AEW, something few would have imagined following his dismal run on WWE's main roster, despite his 10 charge being one of the most over things in the company. Another pay-per-view will be announced. It was recently reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that All Out will likely not be the last AEW pay-per-view event of the year. So far, we've had Double or Nothing in May, the two smaller Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen shows, and now All Out. PW Insider reported that it is thought that the show will take place in November, around the same time as WWE will be hosting Survivor Series, but this hasn't been confirmed as of yet. If there are plans to have another show, it makes sense for the Bucks or Cody to make the announcement at All Out when the maximum number of eyes are on the product. While they haven't exactly struggled to shift tickets with, sellouts for all of them, they'll want to keep the incredible momentum they have going into 2020, which will be the year that really shows whether AEW can be the force many expect it to be. Dave Meltzer reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that the current plan is to have 4 pay-per-view shows in 2020, presumably spaced out evenly throughout the 12-month cycle. With NXT set to go up against AEW on Wednesday nights, it is crucial that AEW makes their pay-per-view shows as entertaining as possible to ward off competition. Kenny Omega will beat Jon Moxley. Moxley. In what was likely the biggest wrestling audience pop of the year, Jon Moxley appeared at AEW's Double or Nothing less than a month after his contract with WWE expired. The former Dean Ambrose attacked both Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega after the main event, but it was former IWGP Heavyweight Champion Omega that Moxley really targeted. The two men have traded blows since and are set to go one-on-one at All Out. While he isn't a clear favorite by any means, betting sites have Omega down as the favorite to win this one. You would expect that both men will be in the main event scene for AEW for many years to come, given that they are arguably two of the most well-known non-WWE wrestlers on the planet. Either man could realistically win this one, and whoever does win will likely be in for a future title shot at whoever is holding the AEW Championship at the time. What is less of a rumor and more of a fact is that this will be stiff and hard-hitting, and will almost certainly be the match of the night given who is taking part. So make sure you're in the mood for some thigh slaps and bone snaps come August 31st. There will be loads of debuts. Since announcing that AEW was a thing in January, the promotion has slowly announced roster members throughout the year, with names ranging from superstars like Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley to lesser but no less talented names such as Kip Sabian and Nyla Rose. The current AEW roster stands at 46 names, but in a recent tweet, Cody said that only around 40% of the roster has been revealed. So if I do some quick maths real quick, that means we will have at some point 115 wrestlers in AEW, which is actually more than WWE if you don't count NXT, which I guess we should probably start doing now that it's going to be on Big Boy TV. If you assume that at least 10 of the unannounced names are CM Punk, then that still leaves around 50 wrestlers who haven't yet been announced. One of the matches on the show is a 21-women battle royal, with the winner getting a future AEW Women's Championship match. So you could quite comfortably give a few debuts in that one, on top of all the other debuts that they've already announced for the match. AEW will want to make All Out a show that persuades fans to tune in to weekly TV when it starts in October, and big debuts would be an obvious way to make sure that happens. Kong vs. Kong. A match that is yet to be announced but is expected to be on the show is a meeting of the Kongs, with Japanese legend Aja Kong taking on Awesome Kong, or for WWE fans, Karma. This match was set up at Fight for the Fallen, when Aja confronted Awesome Kong in the middle of the ring. They didn't actually do anything, but I am a master of reading facial expressions, and I'm pretty sure she's saying, hey, you free for a wrestling match on August 31st at AEW All Out at the Sears Center Arena in Chicago? That's what that face was saying. Quick note on this one, we record this video on a Wednesday, so if this match has already been made, then you can just call me a psychic. Tony Schiavone will commentate. It was announced by both the Wrestling Observer newsletter and PW Insider, so it's probably true, that former WWE, WCW, and TNA commentator Tony Schiavone has signed a contract with AEW. As one of the most iconic voices in wrestling history, this is a huge signing for AEW, particularly as it is reported that WWE were very keen on bringing him in as well. Schiavone currently commentates for Major League Wrestling and baseball, so you could say he doesn't really commentate in any real sports, but he is being allowed to commentate for AEW if reports are to be believed. AEW's current commentary team is made up of the legendary Jim Ross, Excalibur, and Alex Marvez, and from comments across social media, it seems that everyone wants Schiavone to replace Marvez. Poor bloke. There's no word on what kind of setup it will be for the commentary booth, but again, it would make sense with how important All Out is to bring in the big guns, and Shivani is certainly that. He also has experience of going up against WWE/WWF, and although I can't remember exactly how that one ended, I'm sure he'll be valuable in their battle. Chris Jericho will be the first AEW champion. In what will likely be the main event of the show, Chris Jericho will take on Adam Hangman Page to crown the inaugural AEW champion. Jericho qualified for the match by defeating Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing, and Page did the same by winning the Casino Battle Royale at the same show. Since then, Jericho has attacked Page at Fight for the Fallen to hype the match, and if the latest betting odds are to be believed, it'll be Jericho that wins come All Out. It makes sense for AEW to make their first champion someone that everyone who has ever watched wrestling knows. He doesn't have to hold the belt for long, but for mainstream media appeal, and to be able to say that former WWE World Champion becomes AEW champion would be a huge headline that the promotion can use going into weekly TV. Once things have settled and wrestlers have made stars for themselves, we can expect to see more lesser known stars going for the belt. But for now, as Luke would say, having Jericho as champion just makes sense. So those were just some rumors and speculation. Let us know if you've got any speculation in the comments, and check out Screen Stalker for the latest edition of us being nerds and probably playing a game terribly by pressing the video on screen now. A special thank you to our lovely pledgehammers on Patreon, some of whom you can see scrolling below me right now. Press the thumbs up, subscribe, and bell icon to enable notifications before you go as well. I've been Chopper Pete Quinnell, and that was wrestling.